Yes, let them hear you in Austin right now. Save our schools.
Sure, this is our Make Education a Priority rally, and it involves school districts in 4 different counties, Henderson, Anderson, Kaufman, and Van Zandt. And we've all come together with the same message, sending a message to our state legislators in Austin: make education a priority. That's what this whole event's about. It's about several school districts speaking with one voice.
Okay, well, you say make education a priority. What you mean is more money.
What we mean is not less money.
Not less money.
Right. That's what we really mean. We're not asking for any more money than we've had in the past. What we're asking for is equitable funding, which means funding at this year's level or close to it. We realize the budgets are tight. We realize that, but we're Athens ISD can't afford a $2 million cut next year, which is what the current House bill represents.
A very special guest could not be here tonight. He called me a little bit after 5 and said that he is going to be on the House floor tonight voting on a bill. But he did send a statement that I'd like to read for you tonight. This is a message is from our state representative, Lance Gooden. It said, while I may not be at Bruce Field with you tonight, I stand with you from the floor of your House in full support of my area school districts with whom I pledge to make education a priority for this legislative session. All day today, as you're meeting tonight, I've been working with my colleagues to make sure we have the right steps as we struggle to balance our state's budget. Making smart, surgical cuts that eliminate wasteful spending and axe needless bloat of our state government without damaging our education system has been my focus since the day I took office in January. This has not been an easy task. The bleak budget picture left us from past legislatures was a rude awakening to the beginning of my service for you. But making these tough decisions is exactly what you elected me to do. I would love nothing more than to speak with you tonight and personally update each and every one of you on our current budget situation and the work I'm doing to ensure a great education for the next generation of Texans. That is exactly the treatment you deserve. But my first duty is to represent you from your seat in the Texas House. And tonight I'm doing just that. And while it may not have happened yet, I think this is key, so this is my own note. Sometime this evening, I will vote to tap the rainy day fund and free up $4.3 billion for the upcoming 2012-13 biennium. $2 billion of that will go directly to public schools. And he concludes, please note that you have an advocate in Austin. Texas has no more important servants than our public school educators, and I'm fighting daily to ensure you can continue to best prepare our children to be the leaders of the future. We have 2 more months of this session, and there's more work to be done. Please continue to stay in touch, and I will do the same. And I'd hold you, if I were you, I'd hold him to that. And it concludes with, God bless you.
Lance Gooden's statement talked about waste. We don't have any more waste. We've been cutting, we've been laying off people, we've not been filling vacancies. Every day, Mayor Daniels, I read like you do about the schools that aren't filling positions, and it's the same way with the community colleges. We're not filling positions. We're going without. Education has been dependent on the dedication and professionalism of our teachers for years. Additional responsibilities have been imposed on them year after year, while they are often blamed for every shortcoming. Let me stop right there. Do we have any first grade teachers in the audience? First grade teachers. You know, one of my pet peeves is when I hear people say, well, teachers got it easy. They come to work at 7:30, they get off at 4, and then they have summers off. My mom was a first grade teacher. And I remember her coming home at night, spreading papers out on the dining room table and working. And then when it was time for supper, she transferred those papers over to my pool table. And she asked me to help sort and grade. And that would go on every night till 7:30 or 8 o'clock at night. And then during the summers, she wasn't just loafing around. She was going up, getting her room organized, getting it prepared. So anytime somebody tells you that teachers have time off and they've got an easy job, you just laugh at them because they don't know what they're talking about.
Now, folks, it's no secret that we're in the midst of an economic downturn. And I think we all recognize that when these kind of things happen, we have to make adjustments. Our financial conditions in the public schools of Texas is not a result of that economic downturn. As your mayor said, it's a result of short-sighted decision making. What Texans don't realize and appreciate is that public education has been in a belt-tightening mode for several years. We have been whittled on, we have been nibbled on, and now they're amputating, folks. When you amputate, you change the appearance. They're taking arms, legs, and other vital organs now. And we cannot have this.
You know, I believe that a world-class education is a moral imperative and an economic necessity that requires parents, educators, and community leaders to work together to provide our children the skills needed to compete and succeed in a global economy such as we have now. The most important factors in student success is, one, having parents that are involved in their children's education by loving them, encouraging them, and supporting them in their academic and personal lives. And two, by having qualified, caring teachers in the classroom. Our goal as parents, taxpayers, and citizens shouldn't be to accept short-sighted policies that harm education, but to work for and support funding in education that gives our children a chance. I can tell you that businesses are reluctant to come to an area where news of teacher layoffs and cuts in education are the headlines. The economic consequences of short-sighted policies are stark and can only lead to making Texas poorer, less educated, and less competitive. We know times are tough and money is short, but let's not sacrifice our children's future by failing to provide them with the best education possible. Thank you, and we're glad you're here.